Vlad, who you interviewed that you thought was full of shit during the interview?
I mean, when I interviewed Gene Deal, some of his answers didn't match up with some of the other. You know, like I remember, like we interviewed Gene Deal, and he talked about like the timeline of Biggie and Tupac and so forth, and like he said how he got into an accident after Tupac died because he was so upset. And then when we interviewed Lil C's was like, no, that's not how it happened. I mean, I was there. I was in the car when it crashed. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was actually there. And, you know, so some of the things don't really match up in some of the kind of conspiracy theories that he has. But the thing is with Gene Deal, the reason why I interviewed him was because he was there when Big actually got shot. And he was, you know, actually there on the scene. And that was the main part of the interview. I figured the other stuff was going to be kind of like, I don't know. Maybe not.
What's going on with you and Marlon Wayans? What is that about?
Right, so me and Marlon Wayans.
The fuck is, what did that happen? What's going on?
All right, so me and Marlon, I've done some kind of like press junket interviews with him before. So we knew each other, you know, we would DM each other every so often.
Right.
So I reached out to him on DM and I said, hey, we want to do an interview. He goes, okay, talk to this person, this one woman who works for him, right?
Right.
So when my assistant talked to her, she said that Marlon wants to do the interview. He wants $40,000 plus 30% of all future revenue, right? And I was like, okay, that's kind of a ridiculous number,
right?
You know, if you know how much YouTube actually makes. Right. And based on his overall numbers where, you know, you look at the Breakfast Club or so forth, he does like a few 100,000 views. So I was going through some fucked up shit at the time. So I just became an asshole about it.
Right.
And I started like talking about that shit in my interviews and I was like kind of calling him out. I didn't have to do that. I was just being an asshole.
Right.
Right. Because he was actually pretty polite with me when me and him actually talked on the phone before all this happened. So I was being an asshole. So then he started talking shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just started going back and forth. And at the end of the day, I didn't have to do what I did.
Right.
At the end of the day, it was a private conversation. It was a business deal. It didn't work out. You know, you and I know how there's lots of business deals that ultimately don't work out.